Hey guys, it's Morgan with A Life in Crafting, and today I'm sharing 5 shabby chic Dollar Tree DIYs for Easter. Be sure to follow me on Instagram and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now let's get to crafting. My first DIY comes from a collab I did with What Jamie's Making with Jamie and the Husband. I took this Dollar Tree Easter sign and used some folk art chalk paint to paint the backside. I like switching these signs over so I don't have to worry about sanding the glitter or removing the decal on the front. I find it easier to just paint it with one coat of chalk paint, and I find that this one from Folk Art works out really well. In order to give it the shabby chic touch, I dry brushed a little white acrylic paint on top. When dry brushing, keep in mind that less is absolutely more, and sometimes even less is better. So you see I am removing a lot of excess paint and just lightly brushing it all over the piece. Next, I took these little wood cutout carrots from the Dollar Tree garland pack and painted them white. I wasn't really happy with the white color. I thought it stood out too much and didn't really go with the piece, so I decided to age it by taking some brown acrylic paint and mixing it with some water. After I brush it on, I'm going to take a piece of paper towel and lightly remove it. I did this 2 times to get the color that I was looking for. I think this looks so much better and even matches the scrapbook paper that I picked up from Joann Fabrics. Now that all the painting's done, it's time to attach the pieces. I'm using this Dollar Tree spray glue to attach that beautiful shabby chic scrapbook paper from Joann's. I really am a fan of this with scrapbook paper. I think it works well and there's no bump or lines on it that you would get with using hot glue. I also cut out a decal with my Cricut and I'm just attaching that to the top of the board. I'm using the Dollar Tree Magic Cover as transfer tape. I really like using it and I think it's great value for $1. I know some people find that it leaves a sticky residue on their projects, but I haven't had that issue. Next, I'm going to take the carrots and hot glue them onto the piece. To add some more definition, I took a little bit of that brown acrylic paint and added some lines at the top where the stem would be. Next, I'm adding some wood beans and using the Dollar Tree faux velvet yarn to add some nice texture and depth to the piece. In order to get the wood beans on, I found it easier to use a wooden skewer and help to feed it through. The yarn was just a little flimsy when trying to stick it through by itself. I'm using a hot glue gun and those Dollar Tree clamps to help attach it to the piece. I love using these clamps now. This is the first DIY that I used it on, and you'll definitely see them again in this video. Lastly, I'm just adding a little more definition to the carrots and wanted the edges of them to stick out a little bit more, so grabbing that brown acrylic paint to give it a little bit of an outline. Check out the finished product. I absolutely love how this looks. Next, I'm using the Dollar Tree wood bunny and giving it some shabby chic flair. I start out by painting it white. I'm going to do the same process with this as I did with the carrots. So starting out with just some white acrylic paint, then I'm going to go over it with a little bit of brown paint and water to faux stain it. I'm going to give it 2 coats of that faux stain just so it matches the carrots. While it's drying, I'm going to work on the bunny's tail. I'm taking one of the foam spheres from Dollar Tree and wrapping it in that black faux velvet yarn. Just take a little bit of hot glue to secure it at the end, and I'm just going to wrap it around. Now I'm just going to attach the little yarn tail to the bunny, and this DIY is complete. My next Shabby Chic DIY uses a picture frame and canvas. I really fell in love with this egg design that I got from Design Space. I thought it was perfect for the Shabby Chic decor and almost mirrored that same flower pattern from the scrapbook paper. I'm using my Cricut mini press today and love using it for both small and large projects alike. I think it's easier to get out and I don't have to worry about taking out my large 9x9 press. I'm using a towel underneath it, and as you can see, I'm just using my hand under it to add some support so there's no indents on it from pressing down, and just peeling off when it's done. If you notice that your piece needs a little more heat, don't be afraid to get out the easy press and give it a few seconds under it. It'll definitely help and is totally worth it. Next, I'm going to distress the picture frame. I actually got this idea off of somebody on Facebook. I'm going to take some white acrylic paint and sort of rub it into the grooves and really highlight that wood grain texture. And again, giving it sort of a shabby feel. I thought it would be really great and match the decor theme. So I'm just really putting on a layer and then taking a paper towel and rubbing it off. I am using a little bit of pressure because I still wanted that brown color to be visible, but really want the detail with the white to shine through. Next, I'm going to grab a pair of pliers and remove the back of the picture hook, the thing that keeps the image in the back of the frame in place. I wanted to get it out of the way so I could secure my piece. When putting it on, I noticed even though it was a 5x7 canvas, it didn't exactly fit on the inside, so I cut some popsicle sticks to add on the edges of the picture frame, and then I'm going to hot glue the canvas on that. I was really happy with the way that it turned out. I think it adds great depth and makes almost like a faux shadow box since it isn't completely flush against the frame, and just adds some really great depth and character. For my next DIY, I'm going to change this pink bunny and give it a shabby chic feel. I'm using that faux velvet yarn from Dollar Tree. When I started this project, I was just going to feed it through, but I noticed that this was very cumbersome and I could tell that it was not going to work for me to keep doing this for the entire bunny. So I decided to just pull a long strand from it. And I had to do this about a few times during the process, but it definitely made it easier and I was able to get it done faster. This is a great time to put on your favorite show, turn on a podcast, and just sit back and relax. It's a really great sort of mindless craft activity to do after a long day. And here's what it looks like near the end. This definitely took me like 30 minutes to wrap. So as I said, you might want to put on a show or a podcast or an audiobook because you will be twirling it around for a little bit. Once it's at the end, I'm just going to secure with some hot glue, and this DIY is complete. My next DIY, I'm taking this egg, flipping it over, and painting it black with that same folk art chalk paint. Again, really big fan of this paint and highly recommend it for your Dollar Tree DIYs. I'm going to mirror that same distress look from the first Carrot Patch DIY, so I'm going to take a little bit of acrylic paint and dry brush it on. Once it's done, I'm going to attach the scrapbook paper to it. I'm using that same spray glue from Dollar Tree and putting it on. Once it's secure, I'm going to add some burlap ribbon. I picked this ribbon up at Joann Fabrics. And I also attached the ends of the scrapbook paper with hot glue and sort of wrapped it over. I didn't want to cut it and have edges be loose and just wanted sort of a nice clean fold, so I went that route. I told you guys that you'd be seeing these pink Dollar Tree clamps again. I love using them and definitely do not miss hot glue fingers. Have you guys tried them? Leave a comment and let me know. This metal flower is part of Dollar Tree's spring decor. You can find it in the garden section, and I spray paint it with some matte black spray paint. And here are my 5 Shabby Chic Dollar Tree DIYs. I hope you enjoyed this video on 5 Shabby Chic Dollar Tree DIYs for Easter. I'm Morgan with The Life in Crafting. Be sure to follow me on Instagram and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.